Now I come to the Quranic answer. The Holy Quran says, Allazina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana. Now, although the Holy Quran speaks out a straight path, every religion claims to be that straight path. The Christianity claims to be that way, the only way which leads to God. The Holy Quran says, Sirat al-Mustaqim. You are right, and again, this is related to your question, the foundation you laid for that question. I hear everywhere, come here, come hither, and we'll lead you to God. The Holy Quran says, from whichever path they seek me. It doesn't specify a certain path on which God would be found. It says, those who genuinely and profoundly inquire about me and want to be led on to me, from whichever path they begin their journey, they can't reach me, but I can reach them. Allazina jahadu fina, those who make endeavor in search of us. Lanahdiyannahum subulana. It is we and we alone who can lead them to ourselves, and we promise that we will lead them to ourselves. Now, this does away with all the claims and counterclaims of various religions and narrows your search only to in one direction. That is, instead of asking people, ask God. Cry to Him, but not like Shelley, not like the astronauts, but like all the previous prophets of God, who when did cry in search of God, they were always answered. So that is all I can say in answer to your question, which is very profound, and it reminded me of so many things which were not included in the question, but with due pardon, I answered them as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The other question, about 25 years ago, I found a very old book in Devon. It was about 100 years old then, and it was 100 years of history of Palestine.
That's right.
Long before Ben Gurion and all that. That in the book, there was one piece that interested me, because at that particular time I was going to the Isle of Wight, to a place called Freshwater, and there's a castle there called Carisbrooke. And in the book it said on the planet there were 12 freshwater wells, and there was in Russia and the Middle East, and one of these wells was on the Isle of Wight at Carisbrooke Castle. Now, this morning when we were travelling here, a friend of mine who knows a lot more about Islam than I did was telling me that there is a well in Mecca, something to do with heal, and the water, this eternal...
Sprouting from under the heels of the thirsty child.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I was wondering, perhaps that was, do you know about this story? There was only 12 natural wells on the planet?
No, I don't know of that story, but I know of one real piece of history. When 12 wells were created by the staff of Moses, there we read 12 springs or fountains of water springing from the heart of the rock. Now, I know there does exist such a place where we still find the evidence of this, though not in the simple way people understand. Spread over a reasonable distance, we find 12 fountains of water by which the Israelites took shelter and remained there for God knows how many years, but they benefited from that water, and that played a very vital role in their survival. So the number 12 applies to that. Now, I do not know who the author is.
I can't remember.
I do not know what he meant by that, but possibly he may have referred to those 12 springs or fountainheads of water, and was considering them to have spread all over the Christian world. And from that, through his own dialectical thinking, he could have imagined that if that is true, that his interpretation, then one should be found even in Britain. Because Britain had also played a very important and vital role in the spread of Christianity. So maybe his study of European geography and things were more perfect than most can claim. And he found this spring of water in the Isle of Wight. I mean, all this is guesswork.
Yeah.
Unless we can lay hands to that book, we are not in a position to explain.
I gave it to a Jew for his birthday.
But that incident which you referred to happened in Mecca was much earlier than the concept of 12 sources of water was ever born. The 12 fountainheads of water are related to Moses.
I can remember him hitting the rock.
When you talk of that spring found in Mecca, you're talking of the days of Abraham. You see?
Yeah.
So that could not be included in those 12 which were not yet born. That was one and only one at that time which is referred to in religious literature.
This book was talking back Abraham's time, and it was also stating that the original wars in the Middle East started over water rights.
But the Holy Quran speaks of that but does not relate it to Abraham, to Moses. Those 12 are outside the number of the one. That one is not included in the number 12. That is what I am trying to explain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.